Charleston, Charleston, made in Carolina.
I don't mean to brag, but I've been Asian my whole life. And in that way, I'm kind of in the same boat as 4.5 billion other people. But unlike those 4.5 billion other Asians, I'm part of the 20 million who lived in America. Because despite being a red-blooded, patriotic, burger-loving, eagle-soaring American, I chose to leave the good old United States and pursue a college education in China. Now in the beginning this sounded like an innocent idea, and even if my entire life would be flipped upside down, I'd get to experience life in a completely different place for the first time. Adjusting to life in China wasn't always easy, but adaptation is humanity's greatest strength after all. Throughout the process, there were many trials and tribulations, and this video goes out to all the ABCs currently considering higher education back in the motherland. When I was in high school, I never actually thought about studying abroad in China. After all, I'd lived my whole life in America and was preparing to go to an American school. But I guess just as a carpe diem moment, I signed up to interview for a fully English-taught program at Fudan University in Shanghai. Even during and after the interview, I had already kind of written off being accepted. After all, this is the third nationally ranked university in China, and I was just some bum Florida man who wasn't even fluent in Chinese, competing against actual academic weapons and geniuses, more or less. But 2 months later, to me and my family's utter shock, I get an email containing my acceptance letter to study at Fudan University, and just a few short months after that, I was on a 16-hour flight from New York to Hong Kong and later to transfer to Shanghai. Even from the start of the moving process, it wasn't easy. For example, when I began my freshman year in 2022, strict COVID restrictions were still in place, especially so in China. When I arrived in Hong Kong, I had to quarantine for 2 weeks before being able to get on the next flight to Shanghai, where I had to quarantine again for another 2 weeks. After that, I had to find an off-campus apartment to live in because the student dorms for international students were undergoing renovations. Great. After all the logistics were settled, I spent the first semester of my college career in online classes, cooped up in a tiny 8x10 square foot room, completely out of my depth with difficult classes, in a country which I had never lived in before, and with a language that I couldn't speak. So I mean pretty okay, I guess. Needless to say, I struggled a lot. Academically speaking, I failed 2 courses in my first semester, and one of those was because my advisor graciously forgot to tell me that the 5-credit class that I chose without thinking was actually an honors course meant for juniors. Frick you. And generally speaking, average life was just pretty tough. See, in America, things were so simple. If I wanted to go somewhere, I'd have to get in my car, make sure I had gas, drive the 20 to 30 minutes to the place, drive back home, hoping and praying the whole time that if I was on the highway, there wasn't traffic, I hit green lights, and that I wouldn't be T-boned by some guy who had to review his stock portfolio going 60 on a local road. But in China, if I had to go somewhere, I would need to bike 5 minutes to the nearest subway station, take the subway, get off at the right stop, and then do the same going home. No traffic, no risk of dying horribly, unless Mark and Omni-Man were out father-son bonding. And to top it off, it was just really cheap, only about 30 cents per trip. Oh wait, was I complimenting America or China? Oh well. Secondly, the food. The food was nothing but positives for me. Luckily, I was able to evade the notorious traveler's diarrhea in the first few weeks living in China, and I was pleasantly surprised by how high quality the food was for being so cheap. Finally, I was able to try the authentic versions of all my favorite Chinese food that I'd eaten back at home, like 生煎包, 小笼包, 葱花饼, 糖葫芦, 牛肉汤面, 猪肉汤面, 葱油拌面, 热干面. Okay, I just really like noodles. And undoubtedly, the best part about Chinese food compared to American food was how I felt afterwards. Instead of being bloated and wanting to die, I actually felt refreshed and full of energy. And it was also great never needing to shed any tears over clobbering my wallet, Chris Brown style. Despite starting off as any other ABC on the East Coast, I somehow made my way back to China for university. And naturally, my life has completely changed. But not all change is bad. Some is actually pretty lit, like being able to drink as an 18-year-old in public. And if you're an ABC who's on the fence about studying in China, even if it's just for one exchange semester, I'd recommend to give it a go. You might learn things about yourself that you never knew before. And also, it's just pretty fun. Like and subscribe.